So I had someone ask me, what is your go-to EDC? Well, honestly, it depends. It depends on the day of the week, if I'm going to work, if I'm off, or what I'm doing for work. Now, on an everyday, you know, we'll say 7 to 5 work day, wearing slacks that require me not to have a knife that's a pocket knife, but something that I could have at work that's primarily a workhorse. Something for opening packages or cutting any, mainly packages, to be honest, because that's the only thing I have to cut, except for maybe large boxes of paper when we actually get some delivered. Now, the knife that I've chosen to use is a very simple knife that is literally just a workhorse, a work knife. This is the Calvin Richardson Tick Bite. It is considered a neck knife, but I don't use it in that manner. I use it as a gentleman's knife. And a gentleman's knife simply means that it is dropped into the pocket and doesn't clip on. And it's usually not some type of fighting weapon either, which this knife is not. This is simply a 2-inch 154 cm drop point. Now you can see this thing's been taken out of the sheath so many times that it actually has the marks or the black from the Kydex sheath. And yes, this is a real deal Kydex sheath that came from it that you can tell is one of those handmade, non-mass produced pieces. And it goes with every knife, because the way this knife fits in when I first got it, it was real tight. I mean, it was super tight. To get the knife in and out was almost impossible. But now, after carrying it for a year, this knife is really, it's worn into the case and it's perfect. And I don't have to worry about this blade because it's not in a salt environment, it's just simply in a work environment. So that 154 cm is going to work just fine for me. I don't even know that I've actually oiled it. I think maybe when I first got it and I just honed the edge just a little bit, I put 1 drop on it. But since then, I haven't done anything. I will tell you that it does have a finger choil on it and jimping on the top, because that's what you're going to need. A knife this small, and notice that I put this lanyard on here that I actually jacked from my Raven Crest Tactical Tanto flipper and put on here because it's actually a better addition. Because the size of this knife, look at that, it actually makes it a full-size knife in the hand. So this jimping on top, and it's very well done. I mean, this is a solid knife. Although it is just a single piece knife, there's nothing to it. It's literally a piece of metal with a hole drilled in it. It is perfect for what I need it for. Because whenever I'm cutting open packages and boxes and all kinds of stuff that I got to go through, this is what I use. Or if the kids come up and they need something like a zip tie cut, well, I can cut it for them because this will do it. And again, this isn't one of those crazy knives I have that's going to scare everybody and have everybody running because it looks like some type of weapon. This right here is a sensible, everyday carry work knife. Now, what's a knife like this cost? Depends on where you get it from. Retail price on this thing, minus the lanyard, is $90. Now that's kind of crazy for a little simple knife like this, but you can tell that it's an in-house, handmade knife. With a sheath like this, you know, somebody sat around and pressed these and actually made them. And it's a really nice sheath. It's all American made, I would assume by Calvin Richardson and his employees, but it's not, doesn't feel like a mass-produced knife. It feels like one of those custom little hand-done type knives, and that's what I love about it. But back to the price. $30 is where you can find it on some of the websites, all the way up to $75. So if I were you and you want one of these, Google the Calvin Richardson Tick Bite neck knife and find it on the website that sells it for $30, because it is definitely worth every penny of $30. Now $75, that would be a bit pushing it. I don't think I would have purchased it for $75. Does it feel like a $75 knife? I believe so. I mean, I've gotten my money's use out of it, and this Kydex sheath has really held up to the abuse, and you can actually see the rivets on this. I've wore it so long in my pocket, the rivets used to be black, and you can see how they almost have that brass color back to them. So kudos to Calvin Richardson and their facility. See on the blade they just put C. Richardson. Really good EDC. So to answer your question, I usually carry a 2-inch neck knife as a gentleman's knife, simply for opening packages. I really do, again, recommend adding a lanyard to it, because the lanyard does improve the overall feel of this knife. Without the lanyard, it becomes kind of awkward. That becomes just a 3-finger knife, and your other 2 fingers get left out. But having that on it really makes a difference. You can tie your own lanyard. You don't have to buy one. I can do knots similar to this. Of course, they're not as pretty, but I can make knots like that and increase the length. As a matter of fact, I'll show one later where I tied a lanyard on there to help get a knife out of my pocket. If you're looking for an EDC, tip down carry only. That's a joke, by the way. If you're looking for an EDC that you want to be able to drop in your pants pocket that won't get in the way, I recommend the Calvin Richardson Tick Bite. If you find it for $30, it's a real steal, and you will really enjoy it. Happy hunting, and I do hope you find an EDC that works for you. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.